How can we tell someone has attributes of being positive? Can we look at them and tell? What do you look for? Universal is a smile. You know, we can tell by the smile on their face. We can tell by positive talk. I was saying the other day that there are some people, and I don't know the disease or whether the disability or the, I should say, deformity that they have, but they can't smile. Something is wrong with their jaws or mouth, whatever, but they turn downward. And they're very depressed. They're only depressed because people perceive them as being grouchy and mean. And they do get an operation as soon as they can. You know, they try to do it in infancy, but the ones who couldn't afford it have had a lifetime struggle because people automatically think that they're surly people when they're not. You know, because people automatically, you know, steer away from them. And they can't look at themselves and see the smile. That smile, it perfuses throughout your body. It makes you feel good. It makes you approachable. What else? A person with a positive self-image. How else can we tell that they're positive? How they handle conflict. Because it's easy to be positive when things are going well. It's when you get mad. You're cussing the person out. Standing at the store and fit foaming mad and, you know, and throwing stuff around it. How do you handle conflict? You know, how do you handle stress? How do you deal with it? What else? Positive self-image. What can we tell about the body language? Confidence. Now, you said walking. There are people who are disabled. If we know them well enough, then we can tell their good days from their bad days, because not everybody is, you know, able-bodied and so on. But we get to know them. And some people culturally may not give good eye contact, but if we know, we keep in mind the culture and all those kind of things, then we can tell that they have confidence about themselves and so on. And then and the other thing about it is that they are going to be approachable, right? Now, if we think about the work atmosphere, what else we want to add? Professional? I always add this component in this respect because there are people that you work with who are very positive, and they can be super positive. And they're good for the cheesecake, you know, sweet potato pie, lasagna, they're good for that. They give you hugs. You think about somebody, Sheila? They always got a hug for you. They pass the cards out and plan the parties, but they don't do their jobs. You know what I mean? They come to work just to socialize. So part of the thing when it comes to work is that professionalism must go hand in hand with that positive attitude. Because I get people like, I'm positive, but you know, people are talking about you, upset with you because you don't pull your load. What else? Attributes of a positive self-image. But can we tell by personal appearance, though? Grooming. Yeah. With the exception of dress, but can we tell by the way they groom? Given the fact that, and taking in possibilities that something has happened to them. Like say somebody, I'm giving an example of someone who is a lady that came, young lady that came in children's services in Seneca County during the flood. Now she came in and was just dirty, muddy, you know, single woman, fell through the cracks because she is single, no children, came to the agency, she lost everything in her apartment, and she had a job. And that's very easy to happen to anyone. And the family didn't have resources, but she's coming in there, she's got her pajamas on, and she is muddy. It took her 4 days to walk in here and ask for help. Now you're looking at her, oh, she's not this and she's not that, you know what I mean, and so on. So the thing is that what's the circumstances of someone's life that we don't judge people? But say they do have the means. What I mean by this is that someone has the means. Someone can overdress in order to put on a facade. And they come to work and it's, oh, about all their clothes and whatever. Or they're out, they're always constantly. They go to bed with makeup on. They're constantly. I mean, but you also have people who have the means. And I don't mean a lot of money, whatever. I'm talking about they're not bathing. They're not grooming. They're not taking good care of themselves. That's what I mean. Personal appearance as far as things like hygiene. Not talking about a crisis situation, but I'm talking about basic hygiene and grooming and those kind of things. I had a friend of mine, and she was talking about during her divorce. that she put her hair in a ponytail. I mean, nothing wrong with ponytails, but I'm just saying she just did it because she just didn't want to do anything. And then when she got home from work, accomplished woman, but she said when she would get home from work, she put on her kids called it the pity robe, and just lie around. That's what I mean. When your self-esteem takes a plummet, when you don't feel like taking care of yourself. I'm a gardener. I love to garden. I mean, I like to work outside. My yard is full of flowers. But when I was going through my divorce, there weren't any flowers outside my house. And I didn't even notice. You know, you're just thinking. You're just so busy thinking about other things. You know what I mean? The kids and so on, and as a single parent and so on. But you're so busy thinking about other things, but you just don't have time for all those things that make you feel like you're connected and so on. You know, we can see it in issues of weight gains. We can also see it in issues of anorexia, those kind of things. So, you know, so how do we take care of ourselves? Health-wise, taking care of self. We can see it, I'm going to put it into taking good care of self. We can see it in self-esteem. When we think about someone who with a positive self-image, can they minimize conflicts? How, Bill?
Tone of voice, first of all. Listening and giving feedback.
Good one. Listening and feedback. What else? Your positive self-image, minimizing conflict. You ever notice that when you're going through a bad time, how many arguments you get into? Anybody ever notice that? We all have a period of time in our life when we argue more. Because you were saying, Sheila, I made a conscious decision to be more positive. You know, when we're going through things, we argue more. We don't let things go. We have a tendency, let me get them straight. You know what I mean? We tend to fight with family more, co-workers more. Lots of things don't quite go right. We're getting more arguments. I mean, just even outside at the store, where we would just let something go. And also, we tend to get in more accidents, become more accident prone, because things aren't going so well. You know what I mean? Because they know us. You know, and the thing is that we're human. You know, I have some parents that won't admit that, though. If we're going through financial issues and whatever, it affects the tone of your voice and your patience level. A lot of conflicts come about when there's issues surrounding economics and whatever the situation is. So the thing is that when we can minimize conflicts by apologizing, by owning up. You've seen people with your staff, Bill. Have you seen the ones that form little cliques? Very powerful.
You don't challenge them on their clique because that's their social issues too. But when it gets in the way of work, then eventually, like I said, I move people.
You know,
and I become the bad guy.
Right. But the thing is, I applaud that because the thing is that if you have people who will escalate a situation and you don't handle it, then it's going to affect your ability to lead. How else do people minimize conflict with their positive self-image? Okay? So they will have negaholics. Leave them alone. Well, and you're right. And vice versa. Because if it's too negative, and I love being positive, but if it's too negative, I avoid it. Because it's too caustic. And sometimes people, if they're not going to get what they're going to get, like people who like to gossip negatively, get together. Because they're going to feed off that. But if somebody's not going to engage in that, then they're going to leave them alone, you know. So the thing is that negaholics do tend to leave them alone. And then the positive people tend to gravitate toward them. And then also that person with that positive self-image can diffuse, because you can't just, you know, some situations you got to deal with it. They use diffusing techniques, even when they're dealing with customers and so on, because sometimes you can't leave. and being able to tell someone in a polite way and so on, or even allowing somebody to vent that you necessarily didn't want to hear them vent, because some people come in, they're so outraged, they need to vent, and rightfully so. They have been, run around the whole court, and as far as trying to get to whomever they need to talk to, and they're upset, rightfully upset. We've called many places and we're really upset. So when you have a positive attitude, you can definitely minimize calm people by diffusing angry situations. Anything else? Positive, minimizing conflict. We said the tone of voice, listening and giving feedback, apologizing when you're wrong, ownership, and then being receptive to change, and then negative hearts leave you alone, and then positive people gravitate towards you, and then also you can diffuse angry situations. Anything else?
This might go part of two.
Go ahead.
But maybe serving as a mediator if there's
Good one.
setting everybody down. I mean, but sometimes too it's hard because people, because I've been experienced in situations like if somebody's had a problem, maybe not with me, but maybe they'll tell me about it. When it comes to maybe telling that person, they won't. Like,
Good.
to everybody else about that person, maybe, which I'm guilty of myself.
Good one, good one. You're being a mediator. A mediator is a very good one. And provided, because sometimes they look at you and say, well, I trust you, Maria, to have a balanced view. I trust you to tell me the truth. If it's me, then you go, oh, I think you need to pull back a little bit. Or if it's them, you know what I'm saying? And then those things help bring people together. Or sometimes commonality. Sometimes, you ever seen people argue and they're going right past each other and they're saying the same thing? And then being able to say, this is what she means, or this is what he means, and that kind of stuff. But being a mediator.
Well, and acknowledging people's angry feelings about
Good one.
situations.
People are when you just skirt over people and just decide that, well, I don't like what you're saying and whatever, but some people have a right to be angry, whether you agree with it or not, or even how they're handling the situation. That to validate someone is to be respectful.